Uh, right. So let's start. So last class we were discussing the morphemes, we were discussing allomorphs and homophones. Okay. Before we move on into the types of morphemes, I'd like you to ask you a few questions. I'd like to ask you a few questions. It's kind of a quiz, just to check your progress and be sure that we can go to a next topic. Uh, what is a morpheme? If I asked you in the exam, and I'll probably do it, what is a morpheme? How could you reply that with a certain degree of accuracy, linguistic accuracy? What is the morpheme to morphology? Why is it important for morphology? The morpheme is the smallest part of a word. Yes, to morphology it can be like that. Why is it so important? Why is being the smallest part of a word so important to a science called morphology? As the object of study of semantics is the word, the object of study for morphology is the morpheme. Okay? It's from the morpheme that we will investigate the nature of words and how they get together. Now we learned that being a morpheme uh, implies that that part has a meaning, not the meaning we are used to when we go through the dictionary to find an entry, but a kind of semantical meaning to the extent that it changes the meanings of words. For example, it's not the same as, say, desperate and desperately. Someone who's desperate uh, is in a state of mind, okay, and desperate is the adjective that will uh, describe that situation. Desperately uh, is a variation in the word, in the root of the word desperate, which will produce the adverb of mode. Okay, so this final ly, the suffix ly, will produce a change in meaning. Ly on its own does not have any kind of meaning, but when it's associated to other parts of the word, it produces a change in the word class. This is one in the many other possible examples, the universe of many other possible examples of why a morpheme is meaningful. And we discussed last class that there are several types of morphemes. Okay, morphemes can be bound, free, root morphemes. We discussed this. It's the morpheme that goes to chama maré. Yeah, it's a root morpheme. Yeah, yeah. Now I learned, Paulo. Thank you. Paulo told me this. Yeah, he said it's the best reggae. It's the reggae you can go and not be afraid of having a knife in your stomach. Maybe you'll be shot, not a knife. Okay, they are a little bit more sophisticated. The stem morphemes, the derivational morphemes, the inflectional ones, the affixes, the grammatical ones, and we can also split morphemes into two bigger categories, content and function. Now, if you are looking at this slide and you didn't have access to what I said the class before, you may be scared because you see this lots of types of morphemes and you may be wondering what the hell they are. Don't worry, we haven't dealt with none of them yet. Okay, it's just here for you to know that these are the types, and today I intend to talk about bound and free morphemes, okay, in relation to one another. Yeah, because we learned from Saussure that in linguistics something is what something else is not. Uh, well, about morphemes, we also discussed two very important concepts when we study the morpheme. The first case is the case of allomorphy. And the second case, it's not really related to the morpheme, it's more to the universe of phonetics and phonology, which is the idea of homophones. Now, you may not know yet what allomorphy and homophones are, but you certainly know what is a homogeneous group. You probably know what it's a homosexual, or something beginning with the prefix homo. Homo means the same. Phone, the sound. Now, I'd like Paulo, please, to give me a definition. I know he can. Give me a definition of a homophone. Different, let's say different functions. Can I say they are the same morpheme then? Can I say then they are the same morpheme? Because we learned that the morphemes are all about function. I told you that un and dis in unrespectable or disrespect, un and dis mean no. So they are the same morpheme. Un and dis. They are only different phonetical manifestations of that morpheme. Now, Paulo, reflect about your answer. Is it completely correct to say that homophones are the same morpheme with different functions? Why not? Yeah, yeah. And as we are talking about function, a different function implies a different morpheme. So let's give a better definition. Homophones are two or more morphemes with the same sound, but if they are two or more morphemes with two or more different functions. Okay, so they are a phonetical coincidence, but they are totally different morphological instances. Okay. Now, on the other hand, Daniele, what are allomorphs? We do a morphological analysis of the word allomorph. Morph means the form, so it's something related to the form. Whereas homophones are more related to the dominions of phonetics and phonology, allomorphs belong to a morphological way of looking at the object. And allo, what is the meaning of allo? Similar, which is not the same as say same. Yeah, so similar means there may be differences, but they are very closely related. Okay, now if you had to tell me what are allomorphs, can you give me an example in the definition? Yeah, in fact, the function is the same. What is similar is the form, the spelling, or the sound is different. The spelling may be different, okay, but the morpheme is the same. When I talk about allomorphs, I don't talk about morphemes in the plural. I talk about one morpheme and its possible allomorphs. Okay, this is just a review from, I wouldn't say from last class, but from last class, from the last class, and from the last. Yeah, I normally do it. I do these kinds of quiz to know exactly how far I can push on you on the exam. Okay, and also to check if you're paying attention to my class, because now with the video it's very easy to sleep in class and watch the video later. Yeah, I heard this. I'm not saying this. Some student, I listened to some student in the corridor saying this, so I'm just reproducing. But so don't worry, I know this is almost pornographic, but this is our course plan for morphology. Okay, so we'll deal with the morpheme. That can be either lexical or grammatical. Lexical meaning belonging to the universe of building meaning in semantics, uh, having, for example, the nouns. They are classically formed by lexical morphemes. Grammatical, meaning that they are there in the word to fulfill some grammatical rule, some grammatical need, like concordance, like putting some verb into the past. Okay. Now, these lexical morphemes and these grammatical morphemes, they can be either free morphemes or bound morphemes. And I'll stop over here, okay, not to get you confused. I don't want to make you confused. So we'll we'll go straight to the next series of slides to talk about the bound morphemes. Well, bound morphemes are morphemes that are not free. Oh my God, Joshua, you helped a lot, you know. You said you have free and bound morphemes. And bound morphemes are those that are not free. But I don't know what is a free morpheme. Well, what is it to be free? What does it mean to be free? When you live in your parents' house, are you completely free? Can you do whatever you want? Whatever you want. You have rules to follow, yeah? You're attached to someone and you are somehow dependent. You don't mean on your own in the world. Your meaning depends on those who control the situation. It's almost the same thing. I'll first give you an overview of what a free morpheme is, then I'll go back to bound morphemes. In fact, I'm considering changing the order in these slides because I think free morphemes are easier to understand. Now, let's take, for example, the word. Let me get the word processor. Okay, I want Windows 7 Basic, no problem. Let's take a look at the word processor here. Why is it so hard to shift from one program to another? Okay, take the word. Give me a new word. Any word that comes to your mind. Confusion. I don't know why confusion, Paulo. Are you confused? Confusion. Take a look at this word. Can we split this word into smaller parts? The first thing you will notice is that the end of this word, yan, is present not only in the word confusion, but also in the word distortion. What else? Interpretation, function. Oh, so this is probably a suffix. But then, the first part of the word, conf, reminds me of other words too. What other words can you think of when you take a look at conf? Conference. Oh yeah, but in this case it's a coincidence. It's the same or the different morpheme with the same sound. It's a homophone. Uh, Take the verb to confuse. Yeah. So this is the simplest word we have. Okay. Confuse is a word that is composed by only one morpheme. Okay. The verb to confuse. Let me. And now I'm confused. Confused. Now I am confused. What were I talking about? About free morphemes. Confused. As you can see, I still added something to conf. Now let me ask, if you go to the dictionary and you look for the entry conf, will you find it? No. So conf is not a free morpheme. I want you to think of a word that is so small that it can be decomposed in any smaller parts and it has a meaning on it in itself. Let's take the word. No, I want it from you. I. The pronoun I. This is a typical case, yeah? I cannot split it into anything else. I is indivisible. Or would be I am indivisible. No, I is, because I is not I, it's I. Whatever. I cannot split this word into morphemes. So it means it's a word that has no morpheme? No. This word is the morpheme. Okay? And it is a free morpheme because the word I will exist without adding any other part to it. Okay? Now the same may happen. You may be wondering, oh, so most one-syllable words. Okay, probably. But not only. Think of the word atom. As you learned in chemistry, the atom is indivisible. And also in morphology. Atom. Okay? So, this is a case in which I have a word and also a morpheme. And when this morpheme can be inserted in a sentence, when this morpheme has a real existence on its own, without the need of adding another part to it so that it can have a meaning, I call it a free morpheme. It does not mean that it is impossible to add parts to this word. It means that it's not necessary so that it can have a meaning. I can, for example, from atom, build up the word atomic. Okay? Is it understood what a free morpheme is? We have plenty other examples. We have boy, girl, house, sun, university. Is it bound or free? University. Take the word university. Let's analyze it. University. Oh my god. University. Okay. First thing, try to look at this word and check what other words you know have some parts in common so that it's easier to split the word. University. Universe and et is another morpheme. Okay? So here I have a morpheme in the end of the word, at the end of the word. What do I call morphemes that come at the end of the word? We call them suffixes. Okay, so it is a suffix. And universe. Can I split the word universe into smaller parts? No. So universe is the what we call the root. Yeah, it's the root. Is it also a morpheme? Is the root of a word a morpheme too? Yeah, the root is a morpheme. And is it bound or free? Well, it's free. Because what you add, the final we you add to form the word universe, for example, is not really a morpheme. It's what we call the filler, which in Portuguese, I learned this from a student, we call vogal temática. Yeah. I was teaching this and I couldn't find a proper translation for filler, and then he activated his memory of Conceição's class and said, "Teacher, that may be the vogal temática." I think yes, yes. I have to confess, I know more about the grammar of the English language than the Portuguese language. So, uh, well, so let's see a definition for free morpheme, for bound morpheme. Well, bound morphemes are what free morphemes are not. This is a very good definition, but if you put it there in the exam, I'll have to give you a 0. Bound morphemes are affixes that must be attached to words. Okay? They must be. It's not that they can be. They are probably. No, they must be attached to the word, to let's say a previous instance of the word, so they will form a new word. They can't stand alone as words. Okay, bound morphemes will always be dependent on being attached to some other parts. Okay, they will never exist on their own. They are like married people. Yeah, where they go, they should take the wife or the husband. Yeah, if they don't take, they will face problems later. Okay, they are always attached to someone. They are always dependent on someone. They are like a sick couple. Yeah, a sickly, jealous couple. Yeah. Bound morphemes can't stand alone as words. They are the prefixes, the infixes, the suffixes, and the circumfixes. Oh my god. Okay, forget about the infixes and the circumfixes, because the English language, thank God, doesn't have such a thing. Okay? Um, Take a look, for example, at the morpheme include, as in include, exclude, preclude. Okay? In these cases, clude does not have a meaning on its own. Okay, I don't know what clude is until I link this morpheme with in, ex, or pre. Okay. Now take a look at the opposite, pre, in preclude. Is it a bound morpheme too, or free? My question is, pre, does it exist as a word? Is it a free morpheme? Can I have it as a word? No. X. Some people will say, oh, my ex is, yeah, but in this case, it's kind of implicit. We are talking about your ex-girlfriend, your ex-husband, your ex-friend, and so on. And in. Yeah, in can be a word, can be the preposition. Yeah. So in is a free morpheme. Now, these morphemes can be then the affixes, or they may be grammatical morphemes, such as the plural, the final S in boys, girls, and cats. Okay, there is no plural of nothing. It's kind of obvious, yeah. So the morpheme, the plural morpheme, with the final S or ES or IES, is always a bound morpheme because it should always be attached to a noun. Okay, if there is no noun, there's no reason to be plural. Uh, is it recording? Let me check it out. Yes, it is. Now, the free morphemes are even easier. Free morphemes are those that can stand alone as words. And we have discussed them in order to define bound morphemes. Examples: girl, system. How many syllables are there in system? 2. Yeah. So the theory that free morphemes are only those with one syllable is put down here. Okay. Uh, they are words with free morphemes can be words, okay, with one morpheme, of course. Otherwise, they would be only words, but not morpheme. Then I would have to talk about morphemes in the plural. Girl, system, desire. How many syllables are there in desire? Desire. 3. Desire. Yes, desire. Okay. Now, yeah, it's because the syllable. Have you had classes on syllables in English? How to split syllables? You have to count it. It's almost like in Portuguese. The times you have to open your mouth to say that word. So desire. Uh, well, desire is a 3-syllable word, but can I get this word and split it into morphemes? No. Okay? If I have to build other words from desire, it's always by adding some part. Desirable, desirability, undesirable, undesire. Okay? But this is the minimal unit. This is the root. And this is also a free morpheme, because being a morpheme and being a word assures that this word is free. This morpheme is free. Okay? The same for hope, act, phone, happy, and many others that you may find examples and that I want to hear from you right now. Examples of free morphemes. Think of morphemes that are also words. Oh, sure, it's okay. There are plenty of examples there. Okay, but I want to know if you are able to give me your own examples, because when the example comes from you, you'll be able to memorize it for the exam. Because be sure, I'll ask you to give examples like this. Heart. Can I split the word heart into smaller parts? Yeah. Of course, someone can break your heart, Mario, but not morphologically. Okay, so heart is a free morpheme. Forget. Can I split the word forget? Forget. Oh, teacher, for the preposition, get the verb. No, that does not do. This is a case of homophony. Yeah, that's okay. Forget. Forget is also a free morpheme. Forgettable, unforgettable, unforget. What else? Just one more. Pen. Yeah. Uh, it is a word in the dictionary, and I can't split it into smaller units. Okay, so that's it. Let's talk about the root morpheme. Please bring me the guitar and play the reggae. It's time to talk about the roots. Root morphemes is that morpheme that cannot be analyzed into smaller parts so easily. It's not divisible anymore. It's the smallest. It's that one that you cannot split. Okay, you told me heart. Heart is a morpheme. It is free and it's a root. A root. Okay. Forget is a morpheme that is free and which is a root because I cannot split the word forget. If you take the word unforgettable, we have to split this word into smaller units. So let's start. Which do you prefer, from beginning to end or from end to beginning? Let's go from beginning to end. Unforgettable. Split. Part 1, un, which means, oh goddamn orthographic corrector. He thinks we are speaking Portuguese. Un, which means no or not. And then, forgettable. How can we split that? Forget. And now, well, if you split the word in the exam like this, I would certainly consider it mostly correct. Yeah? But in fact, able is not a morpheme. Bow is a morpheme. What about this A, if it's not a morpheme? Well, this A is what we call a filler. A filler da puta. No. It's a filler, which in Portuguese you are used to call vogal temática. Okay? But, Usho, I didn't remember about the filler. You will not have a very hard punishment. Okay? Because our focus here was to find the root, and the root is exactly the word, the morpheme forget. Okay? There is no way to split this. Oh, but you said the root is indivisible. And these parts here are indivisible too. Okay, so the root, besides being indivisible, must be meaningful, must be a free morpheme. Okay? It must have a meaning. So it cannot be analyzed into smaller parts. And we can think of the word cranberry, for example. Cran is a root. Okay? Forget something I said, it must exist as a word, it should be free. No, it shouldn't be free. In cranberry, for example, cran does not, if you look for cran in the dictionary, you won't find it, although it is a root. Like in, think of any other word composed by derivation. Um, berry. Yeah, I don't remember the meaning. I know what a berry is, but I can't. You mean the word berry as a root? Yeah, maybe. But in fact, berry is what will classify. This will classify this berry. Yeah, maybe berry is the root. Sorry then. Cranberry. Strawberry. Yeah, because it's in fact it's a compound word. It's hard to say which part is more important than which one. Yeah. Sorry? Crane. And do you know its meaning? Don't remember. And sorry? It's a bird. Yeah, we have to check it. Not to say something foolish here. I have to check it. Okay, and then I'll tell you next class. But let's think of the word, for example, uh, system. Systematic. Okay, I can decompose this. Atic is a suffix. System is the root. Okay, but a system is a bound morpheme or a free morpheme? System. Bound or free? Free. Okay. Beauty. The word beauty. Can I split it into smaller parts? I have beautiful, beauty. Then I have to split the word, dropping the final I. Yeah. And how about this final I? Is it just a filler or is it a morpheme? It is a morpheme. For example, other words that end in Y and this Y plays a function. Well, if I drop the Y, let's go to the word processor. Beauty. If I drop this Y, now I put the full. Full is a suffix, meaning having some quality. I is a filler, and the root is built. Okay? So beauty, this Y here, is a morpheme. Any other words ending in Y that it is a morpheme? No, plenty. No. Funny. Funny is a very good example because fun is one instance of the language. I'll have fun. Someone is funny. This Y turns the verb fun into another word class called adjective. Funny. That's my point. This Y is a morpheme. Now, built. Is it a bound or free morpheme? Built. Not beauty. Built. Bound or free? Bound morpheme. There's no meaning for that unless it's attached to a suffix or a prefix. The stem morphemes. Okay. Now let's imagine a tree. Okay. The stem morpheme is a more complex unit than the root, but it's a less complex unit than the word. It's like a stage in joining morphemes in which the word building process has not finished yet. Let's take the word gentle. Gentle. Can I build up other words from gentle? Gentleman. So here I have a word composed of two morphemes. If you prefer, Just for your information, this is what we call a compound word. Okay, gentleman. Now, from gentleman, can I build up any other word? Gentlemanly. And now I have an adverb. He reacted to the situation gentlemanly. He reacted as a gentleman. Okay. Now I have three morphemes. So gentleman, in relation to gentlemanly is a stem. What is the root of the word gentlemanly? Gentle. Now, gentleman is a stem. Gentlemanly is every stem. Every stem can also be a word. Not every word is a stem. Gentleman is a stem because it's possible to extend it into gentlemanly. Can I move further into this process? If you remember last class, the class before the last, gentleman, I have to adapt the vowel here, ness. Gentlemanly. Ness. So, gentlemanly can be considered a more complex stem in relation to gentleman because it is still possible to come up with the word gentlemanliness, which is the same as saying cavalheirismo, would be the same word. So, as you can see, stems are always a property of being extendable. It's like a tree. Yeah, you have the roots, and then you have the stems and the branches. Yeah, if it's possible for the words to be expanded to somewhere, then it is a stem. Okay. Going back to the slide. So a stem is formed when a root morpheme is combined with an affix. A prefix can either a prefix or a suffix. Yeah. Just a moment. Believable. Ou então todo, pode ser todo, precisar isso, todo root é também, né? Okay, we have a situation here we have to face. In your material, they say that in unbelievable, in the word believable, believe is a stem, and in unbelievable, unbelieve is a stem. So, there are two possibilities I'll have to check. If every root is also considered a stem, or number two, if your material has some kind of a problem. Okay, so I'll check it. But I think every root can be considered a stem too. Okay, because roots are extendable per excellence. Yeah, they are always extendable. But I'll have to check it. Okay, logic tells me that every root is a stem, but logic, and sometimes language is not very logic. Okay, so we'll have to check. Okay, and when I come back next class, I'll probably have the answer. If I don't, please ask me about this. Okay. Yeah, govern. It's the same. Yeah, govern is the root. Governable. When we talk about, for example, governability, in governability, governable is a stem. I also think govern is a stem. It's a root and a stem. Okay? It's like the example of one morpheme words. They are words and they are also morphemes. Yeah? The stem, to me, I'll have to check, but to me, it seems that it's a stem and also a morpheme. Okay, the root and also a morpheme. Okay, so ungovernable is a more complex system because from ungovernable I can build up ungovernability and so on. Okay, so whenever it's possible to extend the word, then I have a stem. Okay, well, for now I'll have a pause because I'd like to introduce you a task. This is the kind of subject we can't stay only looking at the theory. We have to get into practice. So I prepared some exercises for you. Don't worry, you don't have to copy. It's just for people who are watching the video. Check what I'm talking about. I'll give a sheet of paper for any of you. Well, there are two students who were absent today. Are you a friend of any of them? Do you know any of them? There are two people. I don't know who they are. Oh, I think it's no, not Wallison because Wallison is from the other group. Okay, so there are two exercises left. People who missed the class can download this material from SIGA. Okay, it's already available in SIGA. Well, let's talk about the types of morphemes. In exercise number 1, I ask you, divide each word below into morphemes. Put extra filler letters in parentheses. Remember we talked about the fillers. Then tell whether each morpheme is a prefix, a root, or a suffix. So easy. It's just for you to develop, to practice your intuitive idea of a morpheme. So we have the words phonetic, congregate, biographical, pseudomorph, and deconstruction. So that you split. Question number 2. Attention to this question. Yeah, this is a very important question. What are allomorphs? Give 2 examples. And question number 3. What do you understand by homophones? And give at least 2 examples. Why am I giving you this? There will nothing much different from these exercises I give in class in the exam. If you know how to answer this, not this one only, but these exercises I bring up for you, if you know how to answer them, you know how to do your exam. Okay, so it's a kind of as you already know, I studied physics before letras, so I have some paranoias of the people from the scientific area. Listas de exercício. This is very belonging to the universe of them. Okay, so let's do it right now. Okay, and in do we have some minutes or is the class over? Okay, we have 10 minutes. Please do number one. Okay, at least number one for today. And then take it home and reflect. It's to reflect before you go to bed, you know. You have 10 minutes to do it. So I'll pause the recording now, and as you finish, okay, so let's go back to the exercises. Let's take a look at the answers to exercise number 1. Okay, numbers 2 and 3, please try to do at home. Try to be as accurate as you can when you answer exercises number 2 and 3. Okay, because in the exam I'll be very very straight, and I'll ask you for a lot of precision in defining morphological concepts like morpheme, allomorphs, homophones, and so on. Okay, so phonetic. Oh my God, no! I wanted it's one by one. Come on. So let's do it together, and then we see it one by one. Phonetic. How did you split this? Phone with the E or without the E? With the E. Let's use the whiteboard. So phone, letter E included. What else? Phone, tick. Anybody else had a different answer? Did you have a different answer for phonetic? Who did like this? Raise up your hands. Nobody did. Who did like this? Raise your hands. Just Mario, Vivi, Daniele, Paulo. Who did differently, please? Who didn't do it? there, there there are no honest people here. Okay, phone, tick. No different answer, yeah? So, let's go to the second one, as we normally do it in Thanksgiving. Yeah, we congregate. How do you split this? You must know how to split the word congregate. You're very, very familiar with the word. Con, Greg, what is left? 8. É quando você come com Greg. É isso que é congregate? Com Greg, 8. Do you have a different answer? How is it? Congreg. So we have a second possible answer. Congreg. The filler A and TE. And you said I think it's wrong. Why you think it's wrong if you answered like that? You reconsidered? Hmm? Are you convinced by the other form? Con, Greg, 8? No? Anybody else? No? How about biographical? So, biographical. This is kind of easy. Yeah, bio. Like this? No. Graph. Graph. No. I as a filler. Call. Any other answer? Any other possible answer? First, I'm collecting what you did. Then we'll discuss. Anybody else? Pseudomorph. Pseudomorph. How do you split this? Pseudomorph. Do you have a different answer? Deconstruction. How do you split this? Deconstruct. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, let's go, Paulo. Again, deconstruct. I as a filler. And on. Like this. Okay, let's check. Here's the answer key. Phonetic. Sorry, forget about this. This must be here. Phonetic. You just put the E. Why not phone with the final E? Think of the word phonology. Where is the final E? Phonology. The final E is dropped. So the final E is a filler. Okay? The T is a filler too, I'm sorry. You have always to analyze in relation to other words. If you think of the word, for example, alcoholic, where is the T? The T is not there. Alcoholic, phonetic. So E and T are fillers. That's right. I always have to remember what I did before. Well, who said congregate like this? Congregate. Quem comeu congreg? Acertou. Congregate. Why? Think of other words beginning with con. Conversation, construction, connection. Yeah, con is a prefix. Greg, Gregorian. You know Gregorian singing? Yeah. What else? Congregation. Yeah, but in this case, the con is here. I think Gregorian is the best idea to understand this word. And 8 from that is a word who came to my mind, but I should forget it. Ending in 8, it's not a very good word to pronounce here. Any idea of a word ending in 8, just as an example? Veio a segunda, mas também não é boa. Come on, defecate. 8, ok? Era melhor do que a outra que eu tinha pensado. Alright, and biographical. We have bio. You said bio. Very good. Graph. Very good. Somebody said I as a filler and call. Well, in fact, C is also a filler. Provavelmente eu imagino por que vocês estão cometendo esse pequeno erro de não trazer a consoante para dentro do filler, porque vocês estão acostumados a chamar de vogal temática. In English, it can be a consonant, okay? Fillers can be consonants. O que acontece aqui? Think of the word genetical. Não, aí tem C também. Pensa uma que não tem, vamos lá. Logical, C. Crucial. When something is crucial, what is the C? The C is not here. The morpheme is the same. This is crucial. This is... É que a maioria tem, né? This is hypothetical. Aí tem um maldito C, tá lá. Mas isso aqui é filler, tá? Biograph, all. Não fosse por esse Czinho, tava redondo. Teacher, what if I make a mistake exactly in the filler? Well, if you have to make a mistake in some part of the analysis, you'd better make this mistake in the filler than in the root and the prefix and suffix. Okay? So, biograph, all. Yeah. So we have to consider this ick. Is it really a filler? I just brought this here back. Ick. Tem alguma palavra que termine em ick que eu possa considerar sufixo? Dramatic, magic, fantastic. Então não é mais. Aí cai a nossa hipótese de filler e já vem para outro sufixo. Ok? Yes, Mario. Yes, it's possible. Root and root. Ok? Isso acontece em compounds. Ok? Quando você pega um compound word para estender ela. For example, an example of compound. Yeah, biography is a compound word. Biography. Ok? E aí eu posso, a partir dela, fazer mais. Eu posso também dizer que isso aqui é um stem. Biograph. Ok, pseudomorph. You said pseudomorph. Just the filler you forgot. Why? Is there any other word that begins with pseud but not with the O? Pseudonym, yeah. And then the O is there. Most of the words beginning with pseud have the O. But do you have an English dictionary over there? Do you have a dictionary? Vivi's checking the dictionary. Where is it? Pseud? Pseud. Yeah? So, as pseud is a noun, it must be the root. Okay, do you understand? Because I have the word pseud in the dictionary, and it's a noun. Can you read the definition for us, Vivi? Yeah, impostor, fake, and the word is pseud. It's not pseudo. This kind of mistake, which I'll not give much of importance, but I have to warn you it's a mistake, happens because you are considering the word pseudo from Latin, not pseud, as a word in the English language. Without O? Yeah, pseudocrisis. It's a false crisis. Pseudo. Oh my god. They are very strange words. Pseudolicious. Pseudaletia. What is a pseudaletia? Oh my god. Genus Pseudaletis. Moths whose larva is armyworm. Oh my god. It's a kind of butterfly. Ah. Okay, Pseudalicia. Right? So do you get it? Why pseudo? Oh, morph? Because in Latin, okay, pseudo. But in English, the word pseudo is there as a noun, so pseudo is a what kind of morpheme? Bound or free? Free morpheme. And then I have to consider this other one as a noun. And finally, deconstruct. Okay, I had deconstruction, like deconstruction, and deconstruct I and on. Well, I'm sorry, but none of you were completely successful. You were only partially successful. D meaning do the opposite process. It's a prefix. Construct. Construct. As you saw in congregate, con is a prefix. So you have to apply this knowledge here. Ah, but I didn't have this knowledge. I did this before I did congregate. Okay. Remember, when you construct something, you build up a structure. Struct is the root here. Okay? Struct is the root. So con must be a prefix. Okay? And what about the shun? Many people think speaking English is a matter of putting shun in the ending of the words. Yeah, the Asian. What about the shun? Is it the shun? The yun? What the hell is the suffix? Well, the suffix is the yun. Take other words ending in yon, but not with the T. Passion. There's no T. The T is a filler. Passion. Religion. There is a G, not a T. Okay, so the T is a filler. Is it understood? If I ask you to do a similar exercise in the exam, will you feel comfortable? No? Okay, Paulo, at least you are honest. Okay, so thank you very much for today. We discuss bound and free morphemes next class a little bit again, and then we move on. Okay, see you next class. If there's no problem with the internet, the video will be available by the afternoon.